I asked you to submit your best redstone builds, and you did. We have an insane showcase today. Everything from the biggest redstone door in Minecraft to ender dragon killers, insane creeper farms, and the funnest redstone system I've ever seen. This video is going to show you the best redstone in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. There was so many submissions that I just cannot cover them in one video, so there's going to be a part 2. Make sure that you're subscribed, that way you don't miss it. Huge thank you to everyone who submitted things for today's video. You can see their names on screen, and any links to them will be down below. And a special thank you to the Amylix Foundation, a new technical Minecraft server. A lot of the most insane things you'll see in today's video are from their members. The Discord link is in the description, and dedicated videos for their projects are too. But let's get into it. What if you could kill the Ender Dragon with nothing but a single arrow? Well, you might think it's kind of absurd, but it's actually possible because Kono designed an Ender Dragon farm that uses one arrow and a ton of TNT to absolutely decimate the dragon in one shot. This surprisingly small little build right here is all you need to insta-kill the Ender Dragon, and this thing is highly optimized as well. There's no extra pistons where there shouldn't be to reduce lag. All the hoppers are locked when they're not in use. It doesn't waste any TNT in the distribution system. It's quite the feat of engineering all around. So things start off normal. You place down yourself 3 end crystals in these areas, and then we use a little bit of a bug right here. We have this kind of like right on the edge, so it's about to summon a dragon, and now we go up to the top of the build. So we need to put in ourselves a bunch of TNT. It uses 90 TNT per shot, and then you flick the lever. That is going to begin the distribution sequence for all of the TNT items. As you can see, we got a bunch of TNT going throughout the system, and there's a ton of logic and redstone in here to lock and unlock these hoppers at specific times. That way, each column of these TNT dispensers gets the exact amount of TNT that it needs. So yeah, all of this right here is just TNT dispensers, and every single one of these gets exactly 1 TNT every single time. So once all of your TNT is in the system, you can go ahead and shoot the one arrow that is going to be used to kill the dragon. You just shoot it right in there. It gets lined up perfectly to drop down onto this block right here. And now is the fun part. We get to actually summon in the dragon, and we do this in kind of a unexpected way. You place an end crystal in this area, which then gets destroyed, but as you can see, we are actually beginning the respawn sequence for the dragon. Now, as soon as this dragon is about to respawn, all of the TNT lights, that arrow just gets absolutely annihilated and goes straight into the dragon. As you can see, the dragon dies immediately and then goes down to the fountain, and it's just incredible. Now, I was supposed to be holding a Smite 5 sword for that, but it doesn't even matter, does it? Look at that. Absolutely incredible. Plus 30 points for using a piglin head inside of the redstone because you can. And by the way, the machine is built higher than the dragon flies, so it's never gonna get destroyed by the dragon. I know this is just a simple tiny build, but I struggle so hard with any form of piston extension. So this tiny little triple piston extender, actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, look at this. It's like tiny and it's quick, and I have no idea how this works. Next up is an absurd mob farm by Mike Homer. This is the Lotus Creeper Farm, a huge creeper farm that takes up the entirety of a Sim 4 area and gets about 14,000 gunpowder per hour. So this mob farm is absolutely massive. It's filling up basically the maximum amount of area that it can on Sim 4. There's like basically nowhere else that you could really put a spawning platform. It's actually remarkably cheap and easy to build as well because you just have some solid blocks as the floor, trapdoors, iron bars, and then skulk veins that actually hold up the water. Typically, you'd use scaffolding here, but this is actually another way of doing it. I think there's 29 trident killers on this thing, so that's going to give you insanely good rates. Of course, these all got impaling 5 tridents on them. You're getting the looting 3 effect. We're destroying all of the experience, I assume, to reduce the lag, and then all those items are just getting sent up to the AFK spot. And from the looks of things, you don't get a single spider in this entire build, which is incredible because spiders are the worst thing in Minecraft. So if you just stand here for a minute or two, you'll get a ton of creepers dying all around you. As you can see, we're getting gunpowder going up and down this little drop chute. So just from a minute of using the farm, we already have like 8 stacks of gunpowder. That is absolutely absurd. Obviously, you don't need to build one this size to get the absolute maximum rates, but you could easily build a little section of this. Maybe just that little section down there below you, and maybe the one above you, to get a fair amount of gunpowder every hour. This next farm by Canrex Raptor is absurd for absurdity's sake, and it is a Ravager powered sugarcane farm. So as you can see, we got a Ravager in there. We're gonna be absolutely spamming these sugarcane with bone meal so that they grow up and get instantly broken. This apparently produces about 4,900 items per minute, because you may as well just go whole out on the bone meal consumption. So that's how you turn it on, and then we go up in there, and then as you can see, all of the allays just absolutely throw items at you, so your inventory is getting filled up essentially instantly. But there we go, we got a full inventory of this stuff, and we've only been in there for a couple of seconds. It's absolutely absurd. I want to see this, but with like 20 Ravagers. Let's just break the game with items. Now, I'll be honest with you, there was a lot of piston door submissions, so we're gonna have the world's first piston door extravaganza bonanza, where we go from the simplest to the most advanced piston doors that you've ever seen in Minecraft. So this is an actual garage door that functions just like a real-life human-sized garage door. So we can press the button right here to open it, and then all those blocks are gonna go up. They'll get stored in the ceiling above where your car would be, as you can see. So cool. And then, of course, we got controls on the inside as well, so we can close that. They get pushed back down. Honestly, this is really cool, and I like it. You could easily put this into a build for like a modern mansion or something like that to have a functional garage door. And it takes a surprising amount of like logic to get that to work with all the double extensions and the block hiding. This is a dance routine door using a skulk sensor, and basically what you need to do is all of these different actions in sequence depending on what block is currently displayed in front of you. So you either have to like equip items, dance, open trapdoors, glide, etc., place blocks, and if you do all of those things in sequence, this door opens. It is actually quite a bit of stuff, and there's no way that I'm gonna memorize all of this. This is like the ultimate combo lock door, because no one has any idea what any of these blocks means or the activity that you're supposed to do when that block is out. So the number of combinations here are just absolutely absurd. And there's basically no way that you're ever going to figure this out in your survival world without just getting a pickaxe. So we have a feed tape of blocks up there, of course, and we also have a feed tape of lecterns down here that determines the signal strength required, and that is also impacting our little skulk sensor that is in there. Also, that door is a lie. It just gets powered by this redstone line. So if you do the right action, that'll actually power this node block and give you the signal that you done it. And I think if you do everything in order like you should, then that will fill up this barrel with all the items, which will then tell the system that you should get into your base now after doing a whole dance routine. Honestly, I really like this door idea. I've never seen it around, and it's just a really creative use for the skulk sensor. And moving on, we got an 8x8 piston door. Just on the face of it, the wiring of this is extremely clean. Like, this is super compact, very professional looking. Like, overall 10 out of 10 on the wiring. And let's go ahead and flick the lever to see how this thing works. Oh, nice. That is super quick too, and it's actually double-sided, so extra bonus points for that. The real question is the opening sequence as quick? And basically, yes. Whoa, that is very impressive. I love this door. This is honestly one of my favorite types of piston doors. I'm pretty sure they're called vault doors because they have the little indentation like this. They're not cave doors. We'll see one of those in a minute. But yeah, overall, this is amazing. This is the ultimate piston door. The piston door to end all piston doors. It is a 27 by 27 cave door by demo, and it is just insane. Look at the amount of redstone and flying machines, circuitry, logic, and timings that goes into this. I mean, I can't even begin to understand how this works besides the word magic. Now, some of you might look at this and think that, oh, you know, we could compact down a couple of these redstone lines, but I think you're missing the point that this is a gargantuan redstone door, and it doesn't matter what it looks like on the sides, because that's going to be inside the wall. So let's look at this opening and closing animation, shall we? Wow, so this thing is basically just entirely flying machines. It's closer to an airport than a piston door, I guess, but it did actually work. That's incredible. It took about 1:20 just to open it. So it actually closes really quickly. Like, the bulk of it is there within 30 seconds, and then the entire thing is done within about 50 seconds, and it completely stops moving. That is absolutely insane. This build is just so crazy, and Demo built this on an Xbox as well. Like, this is from a console player, guys. I got no excuses being on PC. I need to start designing things like this. I'll be back in 6 years when I figure out what any of this does. So it looks like they worked their way up to it. There's several more of these doors around the world that are slightly smaller. This one's a 15 by 15, for example. All of the opening sequences for these things are just so cool looking. I mean, that is incredible. So I was just poking around a little bit. I found this wall, which I'm pretty sure is also a door, because, I mean, you know, that definitely a big old door. Okay, I think I figured out the big door. Let's see if this thing works. This is just insane. Oh my god, it does work. This is wild. Look at this. My PC is not having a good time running this. How did they build this on an Xbox? Okay, I think it broke, but even so, that is still just incredibly, incredibly impressive. The fact that this is even possible at all is just wild. It seems like there's maybe a kink to work out, or my PC was just, you know, got fed up with it. But yeah, that is insanity. Imagine this entire wall of blocks just moving over to here, stopping, and then that's like your giant hangar door just opened up. This thing's like 50 by 50 or something. Small correction, this door is actually 4 times that size. It's 100 by 100, and it does actually work. Just sometimes it doesn't because, you know, Bedrock Edition. For some reason, the door activation machine stopped flying. Okay, I force restarted the door, and I don't think it really worked out that well, but yeah, I kind of very broke it. Okay, this is why I don't design giant piston doors, because I broke it immediately. My bad. You kind of got to activate it in sync, otherwise, oh, that's gonna take a very long time to rebuild. Good thing I got a world back up. We can just delete this one. You guys might have noticed that Minecraft's gotten a little bit stale in the last couple of years with the updates, especially with the technical updates. So there's a bit of a meme in the technical Minecraft community where you just build everything movable. Doesn't matter what it is. Mob farms, iron farms, trident killers. If you can make it movable, make it movable. So that is how we get this movable serial transmission system. So this section right here is an 8-bit encoder, and this over here is the 8-bit decoder. So basically, we can send a number from 1 through 8 through this rail line, which is like magic, and then it ends up over here. So to demo this, we can select 4 right here, which is the 4th slot, and then we activate the system. So this will encode that information, send it along the line, and then it gets over to the decoder, and as you can see, it selects number 4, which is just mind-blowing magic. How do you do that with a rail? So that alone is pretty cool, but guess what? The entire system is a flying machine because the Minecraft community is bored. Watching this thing move is also just incredible. So we power this piston right here and then unpower, and then the entire thing moves and is still functional after it has moved. And then this system over here has its own little activation as well. So we just power this piston, unpower that, and then the whole machine moves forwards a block, which is incredibly impressive. Okay, this is way cooler and way more crazy than I thought. So instead of sending just one, you know, lamp at a time, you can send multiple. So we can do like 1, 3, and 5, and then this same sequence will end up over there, which is just insane. So let's send that through the system, and then it'll take a little second to process that, and it'll go ahead and light up these lamps here. As you can see, that is so cool. And of course, it's a flying machine as well. So, you know, just, yeah, it's a flying machine. What else do you want from me? It moves. Seriously though, what kind of witchcraft is this where it's sending information through rails? I don't understand you. So they're using these observers to power the rail at a specific spot, and then that gets transferred through all of these observers until eventually it gets to this rail line right here. And then depending on what observer is out, that's going to power this trapdoor, which goes to our temporary display right here. So somehow the rails are remembering exactly which one is getting powered. Basically, magic. This is a massive game of tic-tac-toe, or noughts and crosses for our friends across the pond, built by Jona, and it's currently in its off state. When you turn it on, it has this really cool animation that builds the entire grid, as you can see. That is so cool. And as you can see, we can start like selecting whether we want to play as X or O for the first move, so we can switch that over to X, and then you can pick a place to play on the grid there, and it actually has safeties in place. So it automatically switches back over to O. And now if I try to play O in the middle, it doesn't work. It like just doesn't do it. That's actually pretty cool. It doesn't have wind detection, but this whole game is still so cool to look at. There's also a clear button to clear the board, so you can play another game that gets rid of all of your entries. And of course, you can also just turn off the entire build. Now, the wiring isn't what I would necessarily call compact, but it's super impressive looking. I mean, look at all that. It's just got stuff going every which way. At first thought, I didn't think it would be super complicated to build this, but then again, I've never tried, and you know what? It's honestly just really fun to look at. This has got to be one of the coolest redstone machines I have ever seen. I'm not kidding. This is a point-to-point translocation network that can have up to 240 individual stations. You can go from any station to any other station in the network. It's basically a super fast AFK way to travel across your world from any point to any other point. So this is a little mock network that we have here. So this is our current location, I believe, and we can go from here to any of these other little stations that we have in the network. Also, it's just incredibly fun to use. So currently we're station A1. We have it selected on network B right now, and then we can go to station 1 in that network. So we press a button, we get a minecart. It's using a skulk sensor to detect when you get into it. Bam. And then it's going to automatically send us down through all these little switcher stations, and then it's going to put us like up over there somewhere. This is absolutely wild. It does all of this automatically. We're in B1. Absolutely incredible. Now that we're at B1, we can go back to A1 if we wanted to, or for example, we can go to like C, maybe 3. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Give me a cart and let's go. That is absolutely absurd. You can see how large this system is, and this is just a mock setup as well. It can have up to 240 individual stations. This one only has like 50. This is basically trains, but like better. It's like a hyperloop or something. I don't know, man. It's wild. Anyway, I'm just gawking at this thing. This is actually a really cool playerless AFK tree farm from Indeficient, and it works for 4 different trees. We got jungle, spruce, birch, and oak, and this uses the bug where you can grow a tree inside of a cube of dirt, and as long as it doesn't generate any leaves, the sapling will just like stay a sapling forever. Even after you turn it into a tree, it'll appear to be a log, but it's actually a tree. Trust me, bro. So this farm is running on a set amount of bone meal, and if it doesn't grow the tree within that amount of bone meal, then it just doesn't try. But as you can see, that is currently a sapling if we pick block it, and then it's going to bone meal it, and it's going to grow into another tree again. And then it's using this really clever piston feed tape system to get the logs out of the middle, which is incredibly smart. I always wondered how we would do that. As you can see, it grows up the sapling into a tree, and then it's just cycling the logs out of it one at a time, and it's actually really good. I love it. And then of course we're just sending all the logs into a command block, I mean a cube maker. So you could easily have a bunch of these things going at once. As you can see, we got all 4 of these, no player input needed whatsoever. And then you can send that into cube makers, and you can use moss farms to automatically restock all the bone meal inputs. And it's really cool. I love this little bug, and it makes for this great little tree farm. So the rates vary depending on what tree you're using, of course, but on average, you're gonna get about, 12 to 1400-ish logs per hour using this little farm, and honestly, that is super good. There are so many more things that I want to show, but that's gonna have to wait until part 2, so make sure you are subscribed, and huge thank you to everyone for sending in their builds. You can still submit builds for the next video if you have anything cool. This video was super fun to record. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, share it around, subscribe, and thank you for watching.